Well, certainly, people, Kevin and Emile Smith Rowe light up the show and win Fulham the game against Leeds. Let's dissect their performance and show why they've got to start on Saturday night.
He couldn't pull it down. In a moto!
First off, Kevin has got most of the praise post Leeds, and believe me, we all get onto him soon. He was superb in Saturday's afternoon showing. But listen, I think that the man that has gone quite under the radar throughout not just Saturday's performance, but the first few games of this season is Emile Smith Rowe. I think that we've seen Emile sort of build back to the player that we saw during his pomp at Arsenal, and I think that Emile Saturday showed maybe where he could be utilised, like in this Fulham team. Looking at Emile Smith Rowe's light average position throughout the Leeds cameo that he had, that was about half an hour long, and you can see that Emile definitely drops a lot deeper to control possession, to sort of be the dictator of tempo throughout Saturday's fixture, and that massively unlocked the game for Fulham. And without Emile Smith Rowe going deep and sort of being that quarterback really of the Fulham offense, do we go and see Fulham get that winner at Saturday 5 o'clock? I'm not sure. I think that this slide here is sort of the perfect proof of what Emile gave the Fulham team on Saturday. You see how far he is dropping deep. He is receiving the ball there from Bassey at left centre back, who played the ball out from Leno. He is pretty much in his own penalty area there. He is the man that is starting that Fulham attack. And then you see the next slide as well. You see that Emile, he doesn't only go and collect the ball and offload it to Ryan Sossignon or someone like that. He goes and he becomes direct. He advances with the ball. That is what we brought in Emile to do, to be direct, to start these Fulham attacks. Not only did we see Emile control the game from deep, I think that we saw some great flashes of confidence from Emile. You look at numerous times where Emile found the half spaces, just one of which is here, right? You see Emile on that sort of 18-yard box sort of range, and he's trying flicks and tricks that shows the confidence that he may have refound during a positive pre-season and first few games of the season for Marco Silva's men. Once again here, you see that Emile finds half space once again. I think that's what we criticised a lot of for Fulham during the last stages of last season, that Fulham couldn't find the way to find those half spaces to unlock deeper blocks. Fulham did finally unlock that lower Leeds block, yes, with some luck, but Fulham towards the last half an hour of that game, after rewatching the entire 90 minutes, people, last night, which I have to say was quite a task. I think that during that last 25 minutes, half an hour, Fulham were a lot more positive, and like Emile, as we see here, receiving the ball from Alex Iwobi, lie in the half space, and straight away receiving it, and as the next slide shows, being a lot more direct and running at that Leeds defence in that half space, that caused massive problems for that Leeds back line. And that's how you saw from Fulham go from not having a shot on target till the 58th minute to having 5 shots on target within the last half an hour. Well, once again, we see here from Emile that he isn't just that deep line playmaker who is driving the ball upfield that we want to see from him, like Emile, but in this chance here, the arrow indicates wherever Emile received that ball. He received it from a Mooney's knockdown, and he fought for that ball. He got it, and he drove into the space. He took on his defender, sort of reminiscent of the Leicester game last season. Emile took on his defender and hit the post. He was unlucky not to score. That fearlessness, it is exactly what we need from Emile Smith Rowe. I'll start to introduce the Kevin praise here, and listen, I think it's fair to say that 20-minute cameo, 15-minute cameo that Kevin had on Saturday afternoon was probably one of the best I've seen from a Fulham player. I have to say that the elation that was given to Kevin's arrival onto Craven Cottage pitch on Saturday, and the wants for his introduction, from myself included, where, listen, they were completely proved right. You see in this slide here just what Kevin adds straight away. He's been on the pitch for about 5 minutes at this point. He's had one run at the ball where he beat a Leeds defender, got the crowd on his feet, a rare occasion during this 90 minutes. And Emile Smith Rowe is running through the middle, but that is brought on by Kevin. He tracks in three Leeds defenders, and that leaves like Emile Smith Rowe time and space to run through the middle, slicing the Leeds defence open. Say that Kevin didn't try to dribble as much, which is something he has been criticised for at Shakhtar Donetsk. He probably does send that ball through earlier, and that probably does cause a lot more issues for the Leeds defence. But that is something that will come with age, time, and experience in the Premier League. I think we all know what Kevin offers with that samba skill that he's known for, that fearlessness, that rawness to get on the ball and really make something happen. But I think Kevin's mere sort of presence caused a lot of issues and a lot of changes within the lead structure of their so rigid defence, two banks of four sort of that we saw during Saturday's fixture. We see here that Calvin Bassey's in possession and Kevin is hugging that touchline, stretching that Leeds defence, and that is you see two Leeds defenders, Dan James and Jaden Bogle. They are all aligned on Calvin Bassey. I think that with you see Ryan Sessegnon, Calvin Bassey on the ball, and Kevin there, that is an easy overload that Fulham can look to exploit in the next few weeks, especially against teams that Fulham will look to control possession against. And we see here Kevin is hugging that touchline. He's waiting for possession, and we all know that as soon as he does get it, he can cause big problems for the defence. And we see in the next slide here just what he can do. How many times have you seen a Fulham winger recently go and get to that byline, take somebody on, not just through pace like Adama Traore, but through raw skill to beat his man? Listen, Kevin had the most completed dribbles throughout the 90 minutes of Fulham v Leeds, like in just 15 minutes. That is no coincidence, right? We see here that Kevin, not only can he go inside, he can take it to the byline, cause massive issues for that Leeds defence. And from that passage of play, we see it in the next slide that Kevin engages three defenders once again, that are all highlighted, and puts in a wicked ball to Adama Traore. And listen, Kevin can go and put that ball in there, but we saw later in the game that Kevin can obviously make that chance, do that 1-2 with what could be a target man striker, or in this case Ryan Sessegnon, to go inside and create himself. Kevin is such a versatile forward, something that Fulham don't really have. It causes a nightmare of problems for any team that thinks that Fulham are sort of a predictable outfit, something that Fulham did become in the last few weeks, last few months, like of last season. Kevin is the complete opposite to that. After reviewing the game, I think that to me it's clear that Emile Smith Rowe and Kevin should both start on Saturday night against Brentford. Listen, I think that Emile Smith Rowe has shown that he can contribute in both halves for Fulham. He can be the answer to the deep line creative issues that Fulham have had. We think that we saw Smith Rowe's deep line position and sort of want to get on the ball and create from deep. Smith Rowe can be the answer to that deep line creative issue. But I think that it is fair that Kevin does get most of the praise from Saturday's game. As I said earlier, it was an absolutely amazing cameo from the Brazilian, and I think that Fulham have finally found. I know, of course, it is early days, but for me, I think it is so clear with a player of his talent. You look at all the non-big six sides that have had success of late. You go and look at Crystal Palace. They won the FA Cup. Their star man, their X factor was Eze. Brighton finished top six. Their star man was Kai Matoma. Forest last season, Morgan Gibbs-White. These sides that have success on a cup or league level have that player who can dig them out of holes, who can win them games single-handedly, like what Kevin did on Saturday. And I think we will see plenty more to come of games like Saturday for Fulham in key moments where last season say that we had a player of Kevin's calibre do Fulham get over the line, do Fulham score like in the early few minutes, like against Crystal Palace in the quarter-final of the FA Cup. Do we make the changes needed that would impact us to get in Europe towards the latter stages of last season? I think we could do. I think that it's clear to see that Kevin and Emile Smith Rowe can complement each other's game perfectly, and I think that I would start them against Brentford. I think that you see when Fulham start a wide duo of Harry Wilson and Alex Iwobi alongside a number 10 in Josh King, you see a logjam centrally that makes for them so predictable going forward, and it leaves nobody with any real intent to stretch the opposing back line. Kevin's completely different. Like as I showed earlier, he loves to hug the touchline, two stretch defences, and I think say that Fulham want to take the handbrake off. I think that we could see against Brentford on Saturday utilising three players in Emile Smith Rowe, Josh King, and Kevin that are very versatile, that can play across the three wide attacking positions for Fulham. Fulham have the ability to sort of play a interchanging attacking trio towards the top of the pitch. I think that we could see some interchanging triangles that could really create some great passages of play for Fulham. And I think that say that Fulham want to take the handbrake off, playing three complete attackers who have a sneakily good ability to come back and defend, especially Kevin. We saw some fantastic numbers from him last season at Shakhtar Donetsk in terms of his defensive numbers, something that you don't normally associate with a Samba talent like himself. I think that we see that from Josh King as well, and Smith Rowe, especially in the early stages of last season. He certainly did contribute defensively, and I think that he could certainly do that against Brentford. I think Leeds at home went a long way in dispelling the myth that Fulham can't play with a three-pronged attack of Kevin, King, and Emile Smith Rowe. I think that they do have the needed balance to complement each other's game perfectly, and for that reason, for me, they all have to start. I think it would be a really promising front three or four of King, Smith Rowe, and Kevin. How many young attacking trios can you name better than that within the Premier League? Listen, I can't name many of them. I'm sure you can't either. For me, Kevin, Smith Rowe, and Josh King all have to start on Saturday night.